Right.
Where were you?
Yeah, right.
Who was that?
Yes, they listen.
You said anytime?
Yeah.
5 seconds away. Call the meeting to order. It's Montcalm County Board of Commissioners regular meeting for Monday, August 11th. We'll begin with a pledge, please, and invite you to remain standing for the invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Vice Chairman Peterson.
Pastor Dennis Ross with Nevins Lake Church here to lead us in prayer.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your goodness to us. We thank you for all that we have. We thank you for our county commissioners and their willingness to serve. We pray that you be with them today in this meeting and at all times, that the things they do, the things they decide would be according to your will. We pray this in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Alexander.
Here.
Johnston.
Here.
Peterson.
Yes, ma'am.
Mahar.
Here.
Carr.
Yes.
And Murray.
Here. We have a quorum. On tonight's agenda, I don't have anything to change. Does anyone else?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Johnston.
I'd move to approve our agenda as presented.
Support. Been moved and supported to approve the agenda as presented. Discussion. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Everyone have a copy of the meeting minutes of the last regular meeting, July 28th, 2025.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Johnston.
I'd move to approve our minutes from our regular board meeting, July 28th, 2025 as presented.
Support. It's been moved and supported to approve the minutes of the last regular meeting, July 28th, 2025 as presented. Discussion. If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comments.
In 2016, the Montcalm County Board of Commissioners voted to eliminate 10.5 full-time positions from the public safety as a part of the budget cut. In 2020, citizens voted to add deputies again, but the sheriff's office has struggled to hire them. The department is supposed to have 55 workers. They are currently short 11. But Williams says he has had extended conditional offers for 2 people. To fill in the gap, the sheriff's office is getting help from the state police. That can't go on forever, Williams said. And really, quite frankly, they're in the same position that we are. This isn't just a county thing or a local police. It affects the state as well. The Kent County Sheriff's Office is a notable exception. Fully staffed with 550 sworn-in deputies. That's an article dated February 17, 2022. Upon reading the Greenville Daily News on Friday, it became apparent that there is a false narrative that is being pursued by the Montcalm Board of Commissioners. According to the state law, Act 156 of 1851, 4611 section, subset G, powers of the commissioner, prescribe and fix the salaries and compensation of the employees of the county. Despite having the duty as commissioner to fix the salary, they pursue a false narrative. A false narrative is a story account or account with spoken, written, or implied that presents a misleading or inaccurate version of reality. It can involve presenting incorrect information, omitting crucial context, or weaving together isolated facts or half-truths to create a deceptive explanation. False narratives can be unintentional, resulting from incomplete information or misinterpretation, or they can be deliberately crafted to manipulate or deceive. Same thing is happening when the prosecutor's office comes up. Time does not avail me to outline that county board narrative. Just be aware that when you cause staffing shortage in the prosecutor's office and the sheriff, you hinder court from executing justice, and endanger the community that you swore to serve.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. So it's the covenant of every government, no matter what level, local, state, or federal. The first covenant of government is protection of the public. And I would like to sincerely appreciate the commissioners for their support of our office and for law enforcement. I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce our newest assistant prosecuting attorney, Mark Woolery. Mark is coming to us from the transfer portal from Allegan County. He's a seasoned felony trial prosecutor. Your budget study helped us compete with, Mark had a lot of opportunities for other neighboring counties, especially to work for any of them, and he chose Montcalm County. And I think it was in part, not all, but in part based on the competitive salary that you were able to offer him. So Mark, right now, he has hired in today as APA 2. We expect him to make the transition to Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney this September 5th. So I'd like to thank you for that and welcome, Mark.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
Any other public comments?
Yes, Bill Hendry, MSU Extension. I just want to thank you all for allowing us to set up an information tent for Old Fashioned Days right out on the lawn. And we had some animals out there. We had a dog show. It was very informative to the public. Drew a lot of attention, a lot of young people. So I just wanted to say thank you. And I understand there was some volunteering at the fair to judge some meeting, some food, and appreciate that as well. So I just want to reach out to you all. Thank you.
Well,
I
thank
don't
you.
know why he was looking at me, but it was me. It was a long day. It was 3 hours of just straight eating.
Yeah.
It was not, I mean, it was great, but it was not good.
I
Sorry.
had to take one for the team.
Ron Feingood, Stanton Old Fashioned Days, citizen, whatever else. Actually, as a follow-up to that gentleman, I wanted to thank the commissioners for allowing us to have used the lawn property, if you will, for some of our events. And we really appreciate that. That's number one. Number two, our EMS, I want them complimented because unfortunately, because of the heat, we had 2 or 3 instances where we needed EMS. They were prompt, same with the sheriff, same with our officers. So they deserve some recognition. The third thing is probably up Tom's alley in a manner of speaking. I have some property over on Clifford Lake Drive, and I don't know if there's a state ordinance or statute, if you will, or we have a local ordinance, but people walk up and down there all the time, which is great, except they don't wear a bright colored shirt. And I think that, you either ought to look into with our attorneys, your attorneys, the county attorneys, whether maybe there is something already on the books, but I started stopping people and saying, hey, please don't take offense to this. I can't see you when I'm driving here. You come in the morning, you got the shadow of the trees. And it happens on 522. A lot of people will walk and wear in the dark. I mean, it's common sense, but there's a lot of people who must not have common sense. So I would ask that you look into it. And, I realize it's going to be an enforcement issue, and Tom is pretty busy, but it's only going to take one person to get killed, and then there's going to be a big to-do about it. So write this up, Elizabeth. And it would be my request that you possibly look into it, but make you aware of the situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comments? Hearing no other public comments, our 410 agenda item, we have Eddie Conrad with us, the juvenile court administrator, to discuss the funding for the child care fund. Welcome.
I heard you take a deep breath. There's no need to be nervous. Weren't you nervous last year?
It's not getting any better.
Oh, man.
You're fine.
Okay, so for the child care fund budget this year, no major law changes this year like last year with like reimbursements and things like that. Everything is pretty much the same. I am asking for an increase because of the cost of placements. Our placements for neglect, abuse, youth, and delinquent youth have just skyrocketed with their daily per diems. So I am asking for a $95,000 increase in that. I'll go through the four components of the child care fund. So the CASA, that's still 75% reimbursed, just like last year. That's exactly the same. Placement costs, still 50% reimbursed from the state, just like last year. I am asking for that increase there. Basic grant, that is the third component. That's $56,250, 100% reimbursed from the state, exactly the same as last year. And then the community-based services component, I am asking for an increase there. Of that increase, so the total increase there, I'm asking for where is it? See, this is why I'm nervous. Okay, right here. So $70,900 is an increase in wages. I put more of our wages into the child care fund because those are reimbursed from the state at 75%. And then I'm asking for $20,000, just over $20,000 for all other costs associated with the court, like psych evals, counseling services, drug testing supplies, tethers, parenting classes, travel expenses, substance abuse evaluations, and sex offender assessments, among other things. That total is $1,075,388. This is an increase of $186,018 from last year.
Okay, anyone have any questions for
Mr. Chairman.
Sharon Peterson?
Eddie, have you used, so essentially this year, this fiscal year, have you used the entire allocation or what was budgeted, or are you under or over?
We'll go over on placement costs. Everything else I have a little more control over, and so we're within there.
Okay.
I just,
So overall, have you stayed somewhat within budget? I guess ultimately at the end of the day, is this expenditure, this number, is this going to be just in case, or is this going to be pretty close to what you think is going to get spent?
it's needed. It's
Yeah.
absolutely needed.
I can remember when we started, 600,000 was, boy, that's a lot. And now we're up to 1 million.
Years ago, we were $1 million or $1 million plus, and it came down significantly for a time. And now
Not saying it's not needed, just
we're
due
just,
diligence.
whether it's needed or not, there's just no choice. We
Right.
just have to fund it. So
The state hands down unfunded mandates rarely, if ever.
no, they never do.
Yeah.
Is there, Brenda, what's your take, or anything you want to advise us on? Is
Well-
this close to the number we've got baked into the
No.
preliminary
Well,
budget?
the budget they gave me in June was $1,032,000, I think. I think that's what's in your new packet here. So we're gonna need more money than that. But that can always be budget adjusted. And it's gonna need more on top of it anyway, because some of she took the wage figures and bumped them up, but she didn't take like the benefits and bump them up. So those will need to be adjusted as we go. The budget document is 1,032,740 that I received in June.
So
And
a difference of how much?
42,000 and change.
But again, is that just
It'll
where
just-
we just don't have a choice, do we?
Yeah, we'll just have to up the appropriation and, but some of that come back, the 75% of that should come back in revenue. So I'd assume your revenue number would go up by 30,000, 28,000.
Well, I guess I'm not exactly sure how that works because of the offset with the neglect abuse placements. Like they basically immediately use that money to offset the neglect abuse placements. So some of it comes back in.
But if it's
To the-
75% reimbursed, wouldn't 75% of that 42,000 in wages and bennies come back then?
Yes.
So then the general fund would have to appropriate the difference theoretically. So that we can handle. That's how it works.
Do you know what's causing the big increases for the neglect and abuse placements? Is it supply and demand?
It's neglect abuse and delinquent.
There is the bed
During
cost.
COVID, a lot of facilities shut down completely or stopped taking out of county kids. And that has gotten a little bit better, but they can't staff these facilities. As you may remember, like, what is it now? 4 years ago, they did raise the age so that 17-year-olds are now considered juveniles instead of adults. So now they've got bigger, stronger,
Okay.
higher risk kids in their facilities. And it's just kind of their way
So
of
they're
weeding
having
out
to
the
pay
really,
staff probably more to attract anybody that wants to
absolutely.
do the job.
Well, and then to the bed per day, the per day rate tripled and quadrupled for some facilities.
right.
So
They,
that's a lot
what
of
I've
shit.
heard at the conferences I go to is that it's not a bed issue, it's a staffing issue. There are beds available, but just not enough staff to
Right.
have
And I
those
think
ratios.
my question is, why are they raising, which I think you're answering.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the amount of beds, so they're not bringing in the amount of money, but I think they're still, I mean, I don't know. I mean, every year it goes up. When I first started 10 years ago as a PO, I remember that Wedgewood was our most expensive placement, and that was $333 a day. Easy number to remember, right? And now that would be considered very reasonable.
What is it now? For that same bed?
I'm not sure what Wedgewood is, but $700, $800, $900 beds are not uncommon.
How many different facilities are even available?
Well, between all the facilities that DHS uses and then all the facilities that we use for the delinquent, I mean, we have 20 to 30
Oh, there's that
probably.
many.
Are they still gonna build that one up north in Otsego County?
I believe so.
Crawford?
Or Grand Traverse County, I think
Crawford,
they're
one of
working
those,
on a
something
big
like-
one.
Is there anything to take action on this?
You just have to accept it and authorize signatures. You gotta sign something.
Mr. Chairman,
Vice Chairman Peterson.
I would move to accept this and allow for the appropriate signatures.
Support. It's been moved and supported to accept the fiscal year 2026 Child Care Fund funding request and obtain the appropriate signatures. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Addie.
Thank you all. See you next year.
Deep breaths now as you walk out.
We're a little early. Pam, are you waiting on anyone else or are you ready? Okay. Our 425 was Pam Stock, the Commission on Aging Director. Talk about some area agency funding and business agreements. Welcome.
Thank you. Yes, I'm just here to obtain the necessary signatures for our Older American Act fiscal year 26 contract amendment, the HIPAA business agreement, and then the signature authorization forms.
Sounds simple.
It is.
Another annual event.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Vice Chairman Peterson.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm gonna vote no on this until they put the answers to the word scramble in the senior newsletter.
That is quite a bit, isn't it?
Just saying, I'm
That's
voting no.
You didn't figure those all out?
Me and Nate, we're working on it. You can't even cheat.
Get it?
Can't crack the
Oh,
code.
boy.
Anything remarkable about this that you want to advise us on?
Nothing other than we were able to obtain 35,000 and some change extra in extra funding this year.
So we didn't get a cut? Good.
Yeah, that's a huge thing.
Good.
Mr. Chairman,
Vice Chairman Peterson.
I'd move to grant the approval for the signatures on the Older Americans Act fiscal year 2026 contract amendment and HIPAA business agreement and signed authorization form. Support.
It's been moved and supported. Discussion. If there's no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Answers.
Answers.
Up next is tonight's correspondence. Vice Chairman Peterson, please.
All right, first up, if you look on page, sorry, my bookmarks are all screwed up. The 27, there is a resolution exempting the county from Public Act 152. This is signed by Brenda, so I will let her speak to it.
So Public Act 152 was the piece of legislature that Governor Snyder put into effect when the teachers kind of disallowed the teachers unions to hold out on contract negotiations and not pay their fair share of health insurance. But it also applies to us because we're a public employer as well. And the federal government or the state sets the hard caps for that each year. Well, now our premiums for next year are going to be a little bit over that hard cap. So in order for us to still charge the employees the 10% payroll deduction, we have to opt out. We either do 80-20, do the hard cap, which was between the 80-20 and the opting out. And when I took it to my department head meeting, and the consensus there was they'd rather us opt out this year and then next year see what happens. We've been told we're going to get a big increase next year because our folks are using the ER too much. And instead of going to urgent care, but we think the problem in that venue is that they're confusing a walk-in clinic with urgent care, and a walk-in clinic sometimes is an ER visit. So we've got to do some educating and get our insured members.
Does anybody have any questions further than what we've just been told?
So we have a couple choices here, and this is your recommendation then.
Yeah.
Okay.
This follows suit with historically what we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we ended up opting out again next year, I'd have to come back again. It's an annual thing. But if we don't opt out, then it's just a one-off year. But there's three options there.
So hearing that, I would move to approve resolution 2025-07 for the fiscal year 2026 exemption from the Public Act 152.
Support. It's been moved and supported. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, next up, page 30. We had sent out for RFP for our auditing firm. We have been with Gaybridge and Company as long as I can remember, so probably
8 or 9 years, I
Yeah.
think.
So I know we had sent our controller out to look for new bids. Those are in front of you here. Clark Schaefer Hackett, 136, Yo and Yo, 146, Gaybridge and Company, 157, Brickley DeLong, 157, and Raymond, 177. And that would be for a 3-year contract. Is that price locked in for the 3 years, or is that just the first of 3-year contract?
That's locked in
Okay.
for all 3 years.
But per year.
Right.
That's that's the full 3-year contract, those amounts. So
Right.
divide that by 3 for the per year.
Oh, that's for the 3.
That's
Okay.
inclusive of all 3 years, yeah.
Well, then it makes us feel like we're getting a deal. So I will say Clark Schaefer and Hackett is located in Ohio and East Lansing, literally 2 of the worst places you could possibly go. Oh, sorry. I mean, okay, Ohio at least. Yo and Yo is in Alma. Gaybridge and Company that we've been with is located in Grand Rapids. Obviously, Brickley DeLong, Muskegon and Grand Rapids, and Raymond is in Saginaw. So does anybody have any burning desire to go with one over the other?
It's really the controller's wheelhouse, I guess. What do you, was one of those other lower bids that cause more problems or work for staff to provide, to get stuff around, or are they all pretty general and know the, what's your take on this, or what would you propose?
I guess if it was up to me, I'd throw the low one out and the high one out and look at the 3 in the middle. And at that point, I don't have a strong feeling with changing. I actually had a conversation with the Brickley DeLong gentleman who they do the central dispatch audit now. And the one more senior partner was, when I said, you know, they all asked, are you getting bad service, or are you just doing this as your due diligence? I said, due diligence, you know, we should be looking at that and going out every few years. I said, but I'm not telling you I'm going to change, you know, it's no promise. But he says, well, I wouldn't if you're happy with your service. He says, I don't agree with that. So
You didn't
so-
agree with the need to change every few years?
no, he didn't agree with that. So
I don't think anybody's been displeased with Gaybridge and Company's
mhm.
service, have we? They've done a good job.
Mm-mm. No, that's why I left the blank there for you guys to fill in. Because
I know-
I don't care what we do. We can stay with them, or we can change it up for 3 years.
I know
don't
Yo
care.
and Yo does the health departments. You said Brickley DeLong does the, what was it?
Dispatch.
Central dispatch. So I mean, they're both, all 3 of those are very reputable.
Which I guess in that respect, I kind of don't want the same one as central dispatch, because I just think it's a
Right.
better
Mm-hmm.
check and balance.
Yeah.
If we don't, seems how we do the books for them.
Well, and we have money that comes through here for the health department too, so that would,
Mhm. Yeah, we just funnel it through.
right. Is anybody opposed to sticking with Gaybridge and Company? Then I would move to authorize the county controller to request a formal contract from Gaybridge and Company not to exceed $157,260 for auditing services for the fiscal years 2025, 2026, and 2027.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Discussion. What would we have paid Gaybridge for the previous 3 years?
I know we paid him 38 this past year.
So kind of a
About right.
sizable,
It's about the same.
sizable jump. 38 this year, probably the most.
Maybe
you're right. I was doing
20,
divided by 4.
yeah.
It's a 3-year contract.
I think I was looking, I think it was like 15,000 increase for the 3 years. I looked it up. I can't remember.
Which in 3 years, we'll probably hope that it's 15,000 increase. Because it could be way more.
Potentially, yeah.
You're saying over the 3 years of this contract, this was gonna increase about
I
15,000 a
think
year?
so. No, 15,000 for the whole contract,
If they
over the
just,
previous 3-year contract.
if they just did 40, and presumably that would be the most expensive of those 3 years, 43 times only gets you to 120. So the 147 seemed,
This year seemed like it was low compared to
oh,
what? So we just did an extension last year to the prior contract. So the amounts weren't on that.
I guess maybe it's irrelevant based on what the other bids are.
Right. I mean, if we take out the lowest and the highest, we're still.
Yep.
26, the lowest is 26,000 more than what we paid. At least 26,000 more than what we paid.
Yeah.
So.
Brenda, does Yo and Yo's include them coming and sitting down and going over it with us like we've been doing?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Because I
They
know
all
when
had to
we
include
use
that.
them as a township, that was an extra cost added in if we had them come in and present it to us at the board meeting. So I was
Oh.
curious.
No, I had that in my RFP.
Okay.
And then also the single audit. And then they filed our F-65 and our 5572 as well.
Yeah. Is there any other discussion? Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, next up is the warrant reports, starting with warrant report 07312025 in the amount of $138,689.06. Next up, warrant report number 08072025 in the amount of $111,280.21. And finally, warrant report number 08112025 in the amount of $559,985.68 for a grand total of $809,954.95. If nobody has any questions or comments about the warrant report, I would move to approve and allow for appropriate signatures.
Support. Been moved and supported to approve the 3 warrant reports totaling $809,954.95 and obtain the appropriate signatures. Discussion. If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, the next is the consent agenda, items 6 through 8. If nobody has anything for those, I would move to place those on file.
Support. It's been moved and supported to place the consent agenda items 6 through 8 on file. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And lastly is the letters to the Board of Commissioners. That is just for your information. And if nobody has anything on that, that'll be your board correspondence for Monday, August 11th.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Peterson.
Thank you.
Up next is committee reports, and we have 2 budget work sessions. Vice Chairman Peterson chaired those, so you.
Perfect. I don't have any in front of me, but I think they're at the, the clerk is informing me that there's no action needed, so they're found on page 116 if you would like to review them.
They need to place them on file or anything.
Okay, we can still place them on file. I was trying to tell you guys that. I would move to place the minutes from both budget work session of July 21st, 2025 and budget work session July 28th, 2025 on file.
Support. It's been moved and supported to place both budget work sessions on file. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Up next is new business. Item 1 is the 2025 tax rate request, also known as the L4029.
That's on page 122, if anybody's looking.
So it looks like everybody's levying their.
Nobody's changed their amount of levying, are they?
EMS, the ambulance is not gonna pull quite their full amount, just shy of it. If you compare columns 9 to 11.
9 to 11.
9 is what they could levy,
Okay.
and 11 is what they want to levy.
Okay.
That's the only difference.
Mhm. We got 2 that are coming up next year that'll need to go on ballot.
Commission on Aging and 4-H, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman,
Vice Chairman Peterson.
I would move to accept the L4029 as presented and allow for the appropriate signatures.
It's been moved and supported to place the 2025 tax rate request, the L4029 as presented, and obtain the appropriate signatures. Discussion. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 2 is the vacancy in the District 4 Commissioner seat. On your desk, you have letters of interest from 6 individuals, I believe. Is that right?
7, I
Seven.
think. Is it 6 or 7?
I had 6.
Oh my gosh.
There was one that had 2 separate attachments in there.
I thought I just had 6 as well.
Yep, 6.
So a couple of things. I'll let the clerk kind of remind us, if we have the option to fill that by appointment, and that individual would serve until the next regularly scheduled election, which would be in 2026, November.
That is correct. They would have to do the primary and the general, so they would have a filing deadline in April.
Okay,
So
primary
yes.
in August, general in November.
Correct.
If we choose not to fill it, then there would have to be a special election held in November 2025.
I was just talking to the state, and because he resigned on the 31st, that gives us until August 30th. So you couldn't call for a special election until after August 30th, which is going to push us past the November option. So
Past the
we'll end up
deadline.
in a special election probably in January.
And
The
then
state doesn't have the calendar in front of them, and I was just trying to find when that would be, but
if a person, if we went that route and a person ran in a special election in January of 26, would then they be required to run again in
Absolutely.
August and November again of 26?
yes.
So the special election would just be for a few months.
If we decided today we're not going to fill that position, it still has the
We still
30-day
have to
clock.
wait till that August 30th before you would call the special election.
Gotcha.
And who pays for a special election?
It would be, in this particular case, it would be the county,
How much would that cost?
about $4,000.
And the earliest we could do an election would be January.
I'm gonna guess, because it's gonna be a 90-day window.
I can say that personally, I love that idea because it is giving the people a vote. Logistically, it kind of is a nightmare because we wouldn't have, I mean, there's 6 of us now. We could effectively get in a lot of ties, and I mean, it's hypothetical, of course, but there could be ties voting on the budget, and then what do we do? But I mean, realistically, I'd love the people to have a vote. At the same time, we were elected to do things like this. So,
Well, they'll have the vote next year.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, and the way this plays out, if we opt not to fill it, they're gonna have 3 votes next year.
yeah.
For Hudson.
And just so you're aware, MCL 46.412, when it talks about the vacancy in the county commissioner seat, it says if a vacancy occurs in the office of county commissioner by death, resignation, removal from the district, or removal from office, the vacancy must be filled by appointment within 30 days from the county board of commissioners. But of course, what if you missed that deadline? Then you have MCL 46.413 that says failure to fill vacancy special election. And that's when it talks about if the board fails to make that appointment within 30 days, the vacancy shall be filled by a special election. The
So it's
special
real-
election's called by the county board of commissioners.
So it's really not worded like we have either or.
Right.
We need to do, if we don't do it, we're not doing our job.
That
Kind
is
of. the way
my
it sounds.
interpretation.
That's the way I see it. Well, that makes it simpler, I guess. We don't want to be known for that, do we?
Either way, appointment or special election, this person's going to have to run next year
Right.
anyway.
Right.
So the people will get their say. So I'm good with either way, I guess. But if we must do it, how does the board want to go about it? Do we want to hold?
So when is let's assume for a second that we're gonna fill it by appointment, then I think that seems to be the consensus. What's the timing that we need to do that by?
He made his resignation effective 7/31, so you have to do it before 8/30.
So we'll have one more commissioner meeting before that.
Or you could have a special.
Right. How about if we, assuming no one wants to nominate 3 of the 6 people for interviews, I'm just assuming that, maybe you do. But what if we met at 2:30 on the day of our next commissioner meeting and gave the 6 candidates all 10 minutes, basically? I don't think we need a large amount of time we've got a pretty comprehensive letter of interest from all of them, just to have a face-to-face and kind of. So we'd meet at 2:30, we'd give them all 10 minutes. And maybe more allowing them to ask questions and speak than us to ask them specific questions. And then we would have our board meeting at 4 and make a decision, make an appointment that night.
So it would be like a committee of the whole meeting at 2:30? Okay, sorry, I wasn't listening, I was talking.
That sounds great. What interview format are we just going to have the 6 people present themselves and we say, thanks for coming? And then we maybe take a little break in between our meeting and discuss it, or no, can't do that. We could take
I think we just
We could go
have
2 at a time.
those 6 candidates tell us what they want to tell us about themselves. And then we would break in between the committee of the whole and the normal meeting. And then when it comes up for business in the regular meeting, somebody would make a motion and go from there. Same as we elect our officers, I guess. But unless you see it, I don't see the need to have a bunch of scripted questions to ask all those people. They've got a pretty comprehensive letter of interest. Just let them present themselves, maybe ask us a little bit more if they have any or any questions about what the job is or the time commitment or some of that, and kind of get a feel for it that way, but not a real intense interview or with a bunch of hard biting questions, I guess.
I think the only one question I would want answered is, do you have enough time to do this?
Sure.
I mean, I think that's a pretty broad question we can ask everybody, and
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not saying we wouldn't ask questions, but I don't see us having a format of 10 questions that
Right.
we ask every one of them, I guess, more of a let them give us, and then if anybody has a specific follow-up question they want to ask them, such as yours, like what's your time commitment or whatever, I think that's fine. And I think 10 or 15 minutes tops would be plenty to do that. Starting at 2:30, we should get through 6 candidates in time to take a break and start a regular meeting at 4.
right. And I was just under the impression that if we ask one of the candidates a question, we have to ask it to all of them. Isn't that,
That's what you're supposed to do.
it's not a requirement?
No, Brenda said that's what we're supposed to do, so. We could do that if you wanna,
We don't have to. I would just,
That's a good,
Like
that's a good question. I mean, that's the key to the job for sure. So maybe if
Did we ask I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, maybe if we have specific questions that we want to ask, we can get those to the controller before the meeting and we'll have those prepared.
Sure.
But I'd advise that we ought to keep that short. I don't know if we want 20 of those questions, but 3 to 5 or something, maybe it'd be fine. And that one is a good question. I mean, I'd be interested to hear their response to that.
I'm a little concerned that we're not giving ourselves enough time. I mean, just a little bit of conversation can very easily go over 10 minutes and you really haven't really discussed anything. And then we've got to switch them out. I'm just wondering if maybe even 2 o'clock would even, I think give us a little cushion.
Okay.
I don't disagree with that, but just gauging on the times we've done this before, we've done that. Like we need 2 hours. We bring in 5 people and we're sitting around for an hour and 45 minutes. Like we can take as much time as you'd like, but I know I've had that same thought before and it doesn't end up.
We're gonna be here at 2 o'clock anyway.
Yeah. I'm here at 2 anyway, so.
Whatever. What's your pleasure?
Do we need action on this or are we just saying this is what we're gonna do? I think we've put a pretty fine point on it. We'll start it to Commissioner Mahar's request, start at 2. If we have any questions we'd like asked, we email them to the controller. She can sort through them and figure out which ones are valid and which ones aren't. Go from there.
Okay.
Ask everybody to show up. I guess, Brenda, do you want to line up like time slots or just say alphabetical order? I mean,
Could just have them all show up at 2. You take one at a time. I don't know that it needs to be secretive. I think the last time we did this, all the candidates were sitting in the audience. So.
I don't think we can exclude anyone. That's whether they want to do it or not. So, yeah, I think that'd be fine too.
My only problem with that is there's a massive disadvantage to
going
first. Everybody else gets time to kind of think about their answer as well. Unless we give them the questions up front.
But you can't force them.
all right.
Do what, Chris?
You could ask them to sit in the hall, but you can't force them if they don't want to.
Sequester them.
Mhm.
Could have the controller put the names in a hat and draw them out, so there's no reason to who had to go first or not.
We could arm wrestle have them all arm wrestle.
Could do that.
I think we ask them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking. If they, to sit on the hall.
Okay.
If they don't, that would.
If they don't, they're out of here.
Red flag.
Okay, do we need to take, do we need action? Do we need a motion on that? Are we good to go? Everybody's clear on what we're doing? Anything else on that? Did you determine on Painter's resignation letter? Are we square? Is that official and done? And
Yeah,
We don't have to accept it.
the
didn't you
31st?
accept it last time?
I don't think so.
Do the minutes reflect it?
I do not know, I guess I thought so.
I was so mesmerized by his shirt, I didn't pay attention.
It wasn't until a different resignation recently happened that we've even never done that.
Right, and so the
If you
question,
would like to, go ahead and make a motion and make it effective as of July 31st. And that we'd be clear and covered.
I would make the motion to accept Commissioner Painter's resignation effective July 31st, 2025.
Support.
been moved and supported, discussion. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, up next, new business. Item 3 is clerk correspondence.
I don't have any.
Item 4, controller correspondence.
The only thing I've got is to ask about that budget resolution. Did anybody see anything in that? That I
The
emailed to you? Just other than the dates and the numbers. Did you see any wording that you desire to change? I don't think I've ever, or not in a long time anyway, provided that to you beforehand. I thought, well, maybe this is a good time to have you read it ahead of time and see if there's anything that you don't like or want to see different. That's all the reason for that.
Anyone? Okay,
I hope everybody read through it because it's a pretty comprehensive breakdown of what we can and can't do.
That's all I have.
okay.
If everybody's good with it.
Item 5 is chairman or the board correspondence. I don't have anything. Does anyone else on the board? Hearing no other correspondence. Old business, item 1 is the 2026 proposed budget.
Alrighty. So that was the new document on your desk. Changes that I made or found or did since you last saw that 2 weeks ago. Prosecutor's office alerted me to a contract that could be reduced by $3,000 for MGT, so I did do that, reduce that by $3,000. I did find, I think I mentioned to you last time, I took that payment out for the last payment for the flyover that I had in there. I took those out, neglected to take the revenue out, so I found that and took that out. That in turn caused me to have to increase fund balance usage on the general fund by another $50,000 to cover that. I think those were the only things I really did to it. And that resulted on page 44, you'll see a surplus of almost 41,000 for the general fund. I did Doug's roof project out there. I had mentioned that he was working with the vendor on that, and that came in 45,000 less than we had projected. So I did take that out of capital improvements, and then reduce the appropriation by that amount. So it's now at 498 instead of 543, I believe those numbers were. I did not add in anything for the ME scanner yet. And just figured we could take that from fund balance when we start making, because I'm not sure how long that process is going to take to actually get to that point. So we still got to determine where we're going to put it. And I know Doug's concerned about the power issue. So we need lots of work to be done on that one yet. So I didn't even put it in the budget, thinking it might not happen the following one. So, but if it does happen before then, we can utilize some fund balance or marijuana. We'll have marijuana money coming in probably before then. So if anybody's got any questions, those are the only things I changed since you last saw it.
So on 44, is that page 44, is that a snapshot of where we're at right today then? Total package? Which
Yeah,
line,
for the general fund, yep.
which line is the most relevant to?
The far right one. So that shows you what our general fund revenues are projected at.
The 40,000 is the surplus that you just
Yep.
mentioned, almost 41,000.
And that's utilizing 750,000 in fund balance.
So this is something that you want us to take and digest for the next 2 weeks, and then we're going to look to approve it next week or next meeting?
We'd have
Be a
the
big
public
meeting.
hearing, we'd have the public hearing and finalize everything at that next meeting.
Gonna be an eventful meeting.
Schedule has been, yeah.
So the action you need here today is to accept that and set a public hearing for formal approval at the next meeting.
25th, yep.
So moved.
Support. It's been moved and supported to accept the recommended 2026 fiscal year budget and set a public hearing for our next meeting in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And what,
25th?
25th.
August 25th. Discussion. If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And then the expenditure policy, I had a copy of that on your desk. The only thing I changed in that was that highlighted section on the third page. Top of the third page, if everybody's good with that. That cleans it up for that last umpteen years that's been going on. So,
Do you need a motion on that too?
no, because it'll be part of the next packet. It'll be in there.
Everyone good with that change? We discussed it at the last meeting that there was a discrepancy there that needed to be cleaned up.
All right,
Okay,
good.
public comments.
I move to adjourn.
It's been moved and supported to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.